Welcome to Traditions in Tile and Stones training series for Acumatica version 22R2. Today's date is August 17th, 2023. Our topic for today is going to be sample orders. We have 4 training topics to go over. Training objective number 1 is choosing the correct order type. Objective 2 is choosing the correct customer. Objective 3 is pricing our sales order. Objective 4 is creating a PO and putting the correct vendor pricing on the PO if needed. We're going to start with a new sales order. By default, our sales orders come up as SA. This is incorrect. That's a normal customer sales order. We want to make sure we're picking SM for samples. Why is this important? Several reasons. The main reasons are this affects inventory accounting, sales tax accounting, and most importantly, this does not affect your open order registers, and it does not affect your branch commission reports. These have ultra low margins, usually a margin of around 0, and I know you do not want to take that kind of commission hit if you can help it. An SA, you will take that commission hit against your open sales orders. So SM does not factor into your commissions. Objective number 2 is choosing our correct customer. This samples for TCS use is our primary samples accounts. This is to be used for majority of the orders that you take. If you are replenishing your showroom sample room, if you are doing a floor tear out or a vignette replacement, they will all be samples for TCS use. Our other customer considerations is if we're ordering samples for a customer. Now, this is going to depend on the customer type. If a customer has a tracking account or a full-blown credit account, then that will go under their customer numbers. If this is a walk-in customer that you would normally put under as a house account or as a showroom person house account, it does not go under those showroom house accounts. It will go under the samples for TCS use. We'll go ahead and begin our sales order. We're going to make sure that we're under SM. Traditionally, it comes up as SA sales orders, but we said we want to make sure it is under the samples account. Number 2, we want to make sure we're choosing the correct customer. We just had that discussion. This particular case, I'm going to pick samples for TCS use, and I'm going to apply it to branch 7, Trotters Parkway. Here we have a quick pop-up note screen. This is a quick shortcut for everything we're talking about here. Make sure we're putting as SM and that we're choosing the correct customer accounts. How to price the order depending on if we're using our inventory or the vendor is supplying it at full cost. And then secondly, if we're getting from a vendor that gives us a sample discount. Those will be discussed later in this training video. As always, we want to make sure we put a job description. Make sure we save often. We're going to enter a brand new part number. Our inventory ID does not matter what we're using. Go with my old standby of American Olean, color 25. Select my correct warehouse. Now, unit of measure is super important here. I want to select my unit of measure first. If I'm doing cartons, that's fine. But in this particular example, we're going to do square footage. And I select my square foot before I put my quantity in. Once I put my quantity in, all the pricing fills in downhill. So I can double check, and I can see my unit price is showing me $383, which is retail pricing. Now, we do not want to pay retail pricing on our samples. We want to pay cost. Samples for TCS use are not free items. The price is cost. There's two ways to price this. We're going to talk about the easy way at the moment, and we're going to use target margin. Now, target margin of 0 means don't apply any target margin to here. So unfortunately, I can't do target margin 0 to get this to get our unit price to equal our cost. What I can do is I can put in 0.01% margin, and that should take our unit price here to match close enough to our cost. So here it says $1.24. I can slide to the end to compare that my unit cost is $1.23.7, which is rounded up to $1.24. So now we are pricing this correctly. At this point now we can create purchase orders and transfers. I'm going to do a second line here to show a slightly different pricing version. For this pricing version, we're going to assume that the vendor giving us a 50% sample discount. The realistic scenario that a lot of y'all call me on a regular basis. Save. About to get an error because I forgot to put my I need to make sure we put our reason codes here. Sometimes when you double click, it starts a new line. So for this part of the tutorial, we're going to take line number 2, the 25 4x4, and we're going to treat this as the vendor is going to give us a 50% discount for our sample. We're going to create a PO for this. So our first step is just like before. We want to set our pricing correctly. So we're going to set our target margin to 0.01. We're going to actually now see our unit price drops to the correct from the $3.38 down to $1.31. So that part is working correctly. Now we want to add that 50% discount we're going to get. So we apply it towards our showroom customer sales order. So we're priced correctly. So this is now showing me that our discounted unit price is 65 cents is what we're going to be paying. Like normal. And we are done with this step, and the next step will be to create the purchase order. Right, so the next step we're going to do in one moment is create a purchase order to the vendor for this second line and show you how to price that correctly to show the 50% discount. I just want to reiterate what this is going to do is our base cost here was $1.31. We did that 50% discount, so we are now billing ourselves at $1.65. I want to mark this for purchase order. Again, I'm just for this sample example, we're just going to do the second line here. I need to remove my hold. Create my purchase order. Nothing new here. This is just exactly like you do every day. So here, actually, we've got a pop-up note that reminds me of my 50% off sample. If I had forgotten that earlier, now I have my reminder. I can go back into the sales order and fix it. No harm, no foul, because remember, the sales order discounts are separate than vendor discount fields. So I need to make sure that this matches correctly my sales order. So we'll change that to square foot back to 1 so we don't get those weird rounding errors off of a 0.08 of a carton. Again, our unit cost here is $1.06. We get our 50% discount off of here. There is a vendor discount percent way down here at the end. So I'm going to put my 50% in there. Save my work. And now we can see up here that it applied the discount correctly. So when our vendor gets it, it's going to show correctly. I'll want to make sure that I put notes to the vendor. This makes sure that they know so they can bill us correctly on their side. Save our work. Then, like normal, we would come and do the print purchase order and send that off to the vendor. So, follow up. We made sure that our sales order was an SM for samples. We made sure that we picked the correct customer. In this case, it was the TCS sales. Third item was that we set the pricing correctly. If we're not doing any kind of vendor discount, we just put in a 0.01 in our target margin and it will adjust your selling price down to the cost. If the vendor is giving us a discount and we want to make sure that sales order to ourselves reflects that discount, we will copy the cost into the unit price, put the discount there. Then on our purchase order to the vendor, we will come into this discount percent field, put that there, and then we're all done. Any questions? Please feel free to let us know. Thank you and have a wonderful day.